Hey guys, we're back for part two. It's snowing like crazy outside. I don't know what's going on. It is the end of April, but we're gonna jump into this because the last video was a little longer than I wanted, so I'm gonna try and go through these pretty quick. This is gonna be part two of my Steelbook collection. Hopefully, as I said in the first part, I will find the rest of my Steelbooks before the series is over with, because right now I have 150 to show you, but I'm pretty sure I have another 50 somewhere back there. Maybe not 50, but close to it. But let's go ahead and jump right in. The first one I have is one I can't even pronounce. This is a French Steelbook, and it is gorgeous. I love the way this looks. This is beautiful. Dr. Mabe's, the name is down here, but it is gorgeous. I don't even know if you can see that title right there, but I just like Steelbooks that are minimal. You know, don't have a lot of stuff in the way. So really, really, really happy to have that. Sorry, I just wanted to make sure my camera was actually on. Hate to do the whole video and the camera's not on. But, all right, moving on. Next one we have is Salem's Lot. This movie, it is what it is, but it's a 70s horror film. And I think this was made for, well, it was actually two versions. There was a theatrical release and a made for TV release. So I think this is the movie release. But either way, he only shows up really once. Maybe twice. What? By the way, this does have David Soul from Starsky and Hutch. You guys remember Starsky and Hutch? And no, I'm not talking about the Ben Stiller movie. I'm talking about the damn series from this, late 70s, early 80s. It's a great show. Next I have Phantasm. This is the remastered version, so basically it's just a higher quality of what you already had from the classic. So they didn't take anything out of it. They just cleaned it up, made it crisper. But I love this movie. I love horror films. I don't have that many horror Steelbooks, which is weird. But I do have Dunkirk. This is from Chris Nolan. Chris Nolan can do no wrong. This man just, everything he touches turns to gold. You know, Batman, The Prestige, you know, and was it Insomnia or whatever? I can't remember all of them, but it's just great. But this is an amazing, amazing movie. But you got to be in the mood for a wartime film. I mean, I love World War II films. I love war films, period. But World War II seems to be where I really tend to like my stuff. But this is fantastic. Yeah. Oh, okay. Just want to see who produced it, but Chris Nolan and Emma Thompson. So, okay. Next, we got Resident Evil Afterlife, a series that sucks ass, but for some reason I have a ton of different movies. I have the box set. I think everything but the last movie is in that box set. So, am I going to get it eventually? Sure, but you do have this one, at least as a regular edition Steelbook. Then, of course, Best Buy always has their runs come out, and then they did all of them. So the only ones I got right now is Apocalypse. Good movie. Kind of. Not gonna lie, it's not gonna win any Oscars. The next one is Extinction. I do like the way these Steelbooks look. You know, you put them on a shelf, they will look cool, but really wish the movies were better. And I did not see Hellboy, which Mila Jovanovic, I think that's how you say her name, was in it, but I heard nothing but bad things. It's not good. We've been waiting for this movie to see what it was like, and it's crap. Which I heard. I haven't seen it. If you guys seen it, let me know. Next one, though, is not crap. This is a beautiful movie, horror movie, so beautiful, horrific. As Dario Argento's Suspiria. Love this movie. Visually, it just looks so great. The colors pop because they're just very stark, especially red. It's just really popping us. So, really love this. This one is, so it says 84, so I'm not, probably when it came out, I don't know. But it's a beautiful Steelbook. Next we have, and continuing with the World War II themes, and that is The Longest Day. This has John Wayne, Robert Mitchum. It's a ton of stars in this movie. This is fantastic. I didn't know this was on a Steelbook. Just saw it at Reckless Records, and I think it was $9.99. I jumped all over it. The back, nothing really back there. Okay. Now back to more of the Best Buy Steelbook editions. We have Underworld, which I love. I love this movie. It was fantastic to see vampires and werewolves fighting it out like they were. Great. Back is, very, very basic steel books, but really, really enjoy them. Then you have Evolution, which is okay. Not great, but it was okay. But then they redeemed themselves big time with Rise of the Lycans. This is the origin of how everything in the Underworld universe started. So you get to see how the werewolves were slaves to the vampires. It's beautiful. Great way of showing you just why they hate each other so much. And then you always have to have The Matrix. Again, Best Buy, this was $9, maybe even less than that, so I had to get it. And it was the last one too, so it was meant to be. Gotta be careful with these. And then this one is probably one of my all-time favorite movies of all time, and has not been topped ever. At least for this particular franchise. And that is Transformers, the movie. This is the original one from 1985. Oh, this is such a great movie. I have it in so many forms. DVD. I don't have a VHS, which if you guys have, and as I always say, if you guys have any movies you want to donate, hit me in the comment section below. We'll figure a way to make it work. But this is fantastic. And I love just a simple quote, "To all are one" on the back. Fantastic. They killed Optimus, man. Why do you do that? Alright, next one we have is from Walt Disney. This is Tim Burton's The Nightmare Before Christmas, the sing-along edition. What that means, I have no idea. Maybe the words are on the bottom and it's a bouncing ball. Who knows? But it is beautiful. It is a glow-in-the-dark steelbook, and it is raised, so you get to see Jack Skellington on it. There, you can actually feel him all over that. It's awesome. It's fantastic. There are so many versions of this movie, but the one I do want is the one that has a head. It's actually like a life-size head bust, and the movie is on the bottom. It's beautiful. But this is beautiful too. Next one I have is not, I haven't even watched this movie. I can't say if it's good or bad, but it was a steelbook and I bought it and it looks terrible. This is the Maze Runner, The Scorch Trials. Never seen any of these movies, but it was a steelbook, so I had to get it. That's it. Not going to make up anything. I've never seen it, and I really don't have any plans to watch it anytime soon. Now, this one is, again, going back to Walt Disney. This is Cinderella, the Diamond Edition. Basically, it's an anniversary edition. It has some really cool special features back there that you get, learning about Walt Disney, how Cinderella was created, how the animation was created. Fantastic one to have in your library. If you're a Walt Disney fan, this is one to have. Alright, now I believe in the first video I showed you a Mad Max trilogy in a box set. This is the individual one. Now I don't have the remake, Mad Max Fire Rosa, whatever it's called. I don't have it. I've seen it, it's great, but I just haven't run across it, and I'm not going out of my way for it. If I find it, I'll get it, but there is one that comes with a car. I want that. But this one was probably another Best Buy edition. Super cheap. Steelbooks don't have to cost a lot of money when you get them when they first come out. It's after they've been out for a while, especially the Marvel ones. Man, you're mortgaging a home to get those things. I will probably never have any of the originals. Next I have, though, is Unbreakable. It's directed by Angelina Jolie, and it is a great, great directorial debut. I believe this is her directorial debut. But this is a movie you got to be in the mood to watch, because you are watching a guy who is a prisoner of war, basically not so much being tortured, but a guy who will not let his will get broken. Unbreakable. Unbroken, not Unbreakable. God, that's a completely different movie. Now, next ones I'm going to show you I've had for a while. First one is the extended version of Ghost Rider with Nicolas Cage. And then after that, it is the Best Buy edition of Ghost Rider Spirit of Vengeance. Now this one was released actually with a, let's see, you bought the Steelbook, which is empty. There's nothing in here. You go to Best Buy and you buy the movie, the regular Blu-ray edition, and you transfer that into here. Which I didn't do. I have so many versions of Spirit of Vengeance, I just left it the way it was. Unopened, it is sealed, never been touched. This has been touched all the time. But you do have these two. Now, the first Ghost Rider was okay. Was not great. Nicolas Cage was a terrible choice for that. I'm sorry, he was. But the second one, Spirit of Vengeance, oh my God, that movie was just so incredibly bad, it's not even funny. But the last one in this stack, because I'm going to be doing 2 stacks in this video. So the last one for this one is the Fantastic Four. Now, I do have Fantastic Four, Rise of the Silver Surfer, and a Steelbook, but it's a DVD Steelbook, which I showed you in the first part. So they're not the same movie. But I do like this one. This looks pretty cool. Dr. Doom on the back. They give this movie crap, but it is the best version of the Fantastic Four that we have had on the screen. It is. I mean, you had Roger Corman versions, the Tim Story, who directed this one, and Rise of the Silver Surfer, and then you had Fantastic Four Stick, or whatever you call it, that garbage. I do have that Steelbook somewhere. It's not in this pile, so that's another one I gotta find, hopefully before this is over with. But that is Fantastic Four, and that's gonna do it for my first stack. So when I come back, I'm gonna have a second stack ready, and we're gonna gun through those, because I don't want this video to last too long. If I'm talking too fast, hit me in the comment section, let me know. By the time the third one comes out, hopefully I'll slow down. I had way too much coffee. Okay guys, we are back with the second part of my second video. That's just weird to say. But I'm gonna slow it down a little bit because I did go through the first stack pretty quick. I did that in like 10 minutes. That's a lot in 10 minutes. So I'm gonna go a little bit slower, but not too slow. I'm hoping to keep this under a half hour. So continuing on, we do have horrible movie. Snow White and the Huntsman. I hate when I can't talk. Steelbooks look great. The movie is garbage. The end. And I actually have the sequel to it, which is an amazing looking Steelbook. Just don't have it on hand right now. That irritates me. Next up, I have 2 amazing movies, but don't get the credit that they're due. First one is Sherlock Holmes with Robert Downey Jr. and Jude Law. And then you have the sequel, Sherlock Holmes and what is this? A Game of Shadows, directed by Guy Ritchie. He did both of these. He did Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels, which is one of my all-time favorite movies. Fantastic. But these are amazing. To see Robert Downey Jr. play someone other than Tony Stark is refreshing, I gotta tell you. So definitely I can't recommend these 2 enough. Dirt cheap too. You get them for like less than $10 each. Then you get Scarface. Now this is, I believe, either a Target or a Best Buy edition. Super cheap, as you can tell. I mean, it looks good, but you could definitely feel like it's a little flimsier than the others, even though it has some weight to it. This makes me wonder if it's going to break. And this could be my edition, I don't know. But who doesn't love Scarface? And then you get, again, with the military and war movies, things like that. This is a true life story. This is Lone Survivor with Mark Wahlberg. Damn. I mean, these type of movies you have to be in the mood for. But man, this movie is so good. It is so good. Mark Wahlberg was amazing in this movie. He did really well. Alright. Then the next one is a 80s classic. I love this film. It's one of the few films that Joel Schumacher did that people love. Lost Boys. With the 2 Corys, Corey Haim, Corey Feldman as the Frog Brothers. Any other sequels to this are horrible. Never should have been done. Never should have been done. But this is amazing. From like early, well, mid 80s, 85, maybe 86 when this came out. So iconic to the time too. The music is amazing. Amazing. Now, speaking of music, one that I think you have to have in your collection, Straight Outta Compton. Now, it's not 100% accurate, by no means. They always sensationalize some of the stuff, but I would say maybe 80% of it is accurate. But they do whitewash a lot of stuff, especially, you know, with Dre. They do that way too much. And then a movie that just keeps having more and more editions of it out. Just pick one and be done with it. It's Watchmen. This is the director's cut, which is the only one I need in a Steelbook. If I find the others and they're cheap, I'll buy them. But I'm not going to go out looking for them because I have a ton of different Watchmen series. I have this. I have a box set that has a lenticular cover that has all the characters on it. I have the deluxe version that has a director's cut and all this other stuff in it. Just a ton of versions. But I love this movie. This is by Zack Snyder, and a lot of people do not like Zack Snyder's work. I think he works in certain genres, comic book being one of them. Maybe not the more traditional characters, because he tends to want to have everyone kill everybody. But if he's doing like something like this where the characters are dark anyway, it really, really works. So I recommend getting the director's cut if you're going to get any version. Now we're back to more of the Best Buy Steelbooks, and these are in no particular order. You know, it's like you have a little bit of everything in here, as you can see. But the first one is going to be Ghostbusters. Now I do want the original Steelbook with the original poster on it. That just I really want. But I got that, and I have Ghostbusters 2. I really wish they had done the third part, because they did a video game, which is basically the third part. And I'm not sure if it was for a game console or if it was for the PC, but they did release a Ghostbusters 3. Look it up. I saw it on YouTube, and it was Ghostbusters 3. It really was. But I have these two, and I'm happy they had digital copies, because I do want those. But the only problem was the digital copy for Ghostbusters. It was a fucking Melissa McCarthy movie. I don't even remember which one it was, but I don't want any of her movies. I don't like her. I don't. She does the same thing in every movie. I don't like her. Sorry. And speaking of Melissa McCarthy doing the same thing in every movie, it's a reboot of Ghostbusters. I didn't hate it though. It was a good movie. I mean, I actually enjoyed it. I just wish the original Ghostbusters never appeared in it, because they weren't the original Ghostbusters. They were brand new characters. Just stupid. Just stupid. You know, Bill Murray played a ghost. I think Dan Aykroyd played a cab driver, and oh god, Ernie Hudson played. Oh god, I forgot her damn name. Where are you? Leslie Jones's uncle. So you kind of think they were going to introduce him as Winston Zeddemore? Nope, just her uncle. But Chris Hemsworth made that movie. I'm sorry, Chris Hemsworth was hilarious. See him do slapstick comedy, so hilarious. Next one I got from Best Buy, that is It Follows. Haven't even opened it up yet, and mainly because it didn't come with a digital copy. I do want to get the regular Blu-ray, so I don't have to open this one up, because I kind of like my Steelbooks backed up. Steelbooks are more for looking at the Steelbook, not looking at the movie. Let's face it. Otherwise, you know, people would never buy the other movies. They just buy all Steelbooks. Next one I have is a classic Stephen King horror movie, Christine. Now, this is probably an 83 movie. Really, I mean, it's very dated now. It's a dated movie. When you look at it now, there's no horror, but even the effects for the car are still good. When she's destroyed and she rebuilds herself, pushing out all those dents, it is an amazing scene. So I definitely say give this a try before you turn it away. Even though it is an early 80s movie, still really good. Next one is another comic book adaptation. This one has Natalie Portman and Hugo Weaving in it. It's this V for Vendetta. I loved this film. Who directed this? I got to get back to James McTeague. Not ringing any bells, but I'm sure I've seen other stuff he's done. But this was fantastic. This came out after the first Matrix, I believe. Maybe after the second, but I think it's after the first one. Hugo Weaving was blowing up, and to me, this is his best work he has done. He really does go out in this. You never see his face. His voice emotes all the emotion. Fantastic. Natalie Portman was alright too. Alright guys, my apologies. I am in a storage unit, so people come and go quite a bit, so didn't want you to hear doors slamming. But continuing on where we were, you get First Blood. This is Sylvester Stallone really at his finest. Well acted, great story. It's not just a run-of-the-mill action film like the rest of the series will eventually become. This movie had a story to it, and it could have ended right there, and in my eyes, it did. I don't want any other Rambo movies. I just want First Blood. And you got Sylvester on the back. Next one we have up. If you didn't know what this was, you wouldn't know the name. This is from Tommy. Basically the musical, in a way, you know, based on the Who's music for Tommy, the soundtrack. Fantastic. Got to be in the mood to want to watch these, and you better be a Who fan for this too. But it is so great. I'm hoping they eventually do one with the anniversary concert. So I had Tina Turner and Elton John and a whole bunch of other people in it. But this was fantastic. So this is Tommy. Back is just a bunch of oranges. Or pinball, sorry. I should just say pinball. Pinball wizard. And in the front, pinball game. Tommy. Guys. Alright. Anyway, moving on. I do have some of my, what I call my Christmas editions. You have to have Chevy Chase's National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. I love all the Chevy Chase Lampoon movies, especially because the kids always change. I don't think in any of the movies the kids are always the same. You know, it's just him and his wife, played by, and I can't find, Belly D'Angelo. God, I can't believe I didn't remember that, but fantastic movie. Just, and it had Randy Quaid in it. Oh, come on, this movie is amazing. Next one up, Christmas Story. This movie is what you have to watch during Christmas. I know they say that, you know, you have, and my mind just went blank. The one with Jimmy Stewart. Oh my God, I can't remember it. I really went blank on that. Oh wow. It's a Wonderful Life. Wow, my brain died for a second. This ain't It's a Wonderful Life. This is a Christmas Story, but this is what I watch for Christmas. Not It's a Wonderful Life. And then one other one that I watch pretty much all year round, and that is Elf. Will Ferrell, when he's directed well and contained, is fantastic. But when you just let him just run wild, just terrible. Sorry, he's one of these guys that you gotta direct closely. Now this one also comes with the soundtrack back here as well, so I'm really happy about that. And this is a Blu-ray DVD set as well. A lot of these are Blu-ray DVDs. Then, speaking of Chris Nolan, because I showed you his movie earlier, which it was, oh my God, my brain is not working out too well. I don't know, it's probably in the first stack, who knows, but you got Inception. And I think I may have said Insomnia, but it's actually Inception is what the movie's called, with Leonardo DiCaprio and, oh, so many great characters. You know, Michael Caine, Cillian Murphy, Tom Hardy, Ellen Page, Marion Cotillard, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Tom Berenger, you know, Ken Watanabe. A lot of these people who are in this film have been in the Chris Nolan Batman movies. Let's see, Chris Watanabe played Ra's al Ghul, even though he wasn't the real one. Joseph Gordon-Levitt played Robin in Batman The Dark Knight Returns. Marion Cotillard played, was he Nisa or Talia? I think she played Talia al Ghul. These movies, they keep bouncing back and forth. Tom Hardy played Bane. Cillian Murphy played the Scarecrow. And Michael Caine played Alfred. So he obviously works with a lot of the same people. So that is Inception. And speaking of Christopher Nolan and working with people from the Batman series, you got The Prestige. This one has Michael Caine and Christian Bale, who obviously were the stars in the trilogy. So awesome. You know, Hugh Jackman, Scarlett Johansson. This movie was amazing. Really, really good. And then the last one in this stack, at least for this video, is going to be Stanley Kubrick's Doctor Strangelove, or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the Bomb. Love this freaking book. This Steelbook is great. On the back, you got the nuclear weapon. I mean, it's just great. These are fantastic movies, and I love Steelbooks. Steelbooks are great. So, that's going to do it for part 2. If you guys have any questions, please hit me in that comment section below. Please hit the subscribe button. That helps the channel grow. Hit that like button so people, when they see it, know the video is worth watching. But if you have any comments that you want to send me that might be a little more on the private side, especially if you want to talk about donations, you can hit me up in any of these places here, but Facebook is the best place. And then we can talk through there. But that's going to do it for me for part 2 of my Steelbook collection. So stay tuned. There will be a third and probably fourth, maybe even a 5th part to this series. Who knows? Depends if I find the rest of my stuff back here. But that's going to do it for me for this part. Remember, here at Picture Book Drama, it is everything in entertainment. I'll see you guys next time. Peace. Remember, never leave a steelbook behind.